The transgender service members that I represent have served courageously, meet and exceed all standards for fitness in our nation's military. They have dedicated their lives to the security of our country, and what we heard today is that there is, of course, no justification for excluding them from service, from yanking them out of deployments, from involuntarily putting them in administrative absence, which is a waste of military's funding, providing support for their work at incredibly high levels of service. Our hope is, and I feel hopeful coming out of the hearing today, that the court will enjoin the ban and make sure that these folks can continue to serve.
There is no possible justification or defense for demeaning an entire group of people. I thought, Judge Reyes appropriately asked them, do you have any evidence for all these negative things that this executive order and this policy is saying about transgender people? And anybody who was in the court today heard it. The answer was no. We do not have a single piece of evidence to support any of the negative characterizations of transgender people that appear in these policies and that are the basis for separating committed, dedicating, sacrificing service members from our nation's military. Okay.
More than anything, I just want to continue to do the job that I've qualified for, trained for, and committed to in order to serve my country. But now I'm facing the reality that what I have worked for, trained for, and qualified for my entire life may be ripped away. Every day I hear stories about transgender service members being put on administrative leave and the steps being taken as part of the rush to purge transgender troops, people like me and my co-plaintiffs, from our military. These are people who have dedicated their lives to service. Many have families who depend on them, and all have met the standards to serve. The forced separation of dedicated, qualified service members, the dismantling of careers, and the disrespect shown to families who have sacrificed so much is so counter to our military values. I have not experienced a single issue caused by my presence in any of the units that I've been involved with. I've recently completed my initial entry training of basic combat training and officer candidate school, and there has not been a single instance where my being transgender had any relevance on anything that I did in my day-to-day life. In the greater picture, grand scheme of things, my being transgender had no bearing on anything that I was doing in those training environments, and now that I'm with my unit, it has no bearing on my ability to serve my unit and to lead my platoon.
Good afternoon. The military that we know and love and that I have dedicated my life to is suddenly rushing to place on administrative leave and then to purge every transgender service member for reasons unrelated to our ability to do our jobs or meet the standards. It is systematically dismantling our careers and seeking to place a stain upon our permanent records for nothing more than who we are. Following today's hearing, it is my hope that the court sees the cruel and devastating harm caused by these career-ending steps and that it halts this implementation before it is too late for me and so many of my brave and talented fellow Americans who want nothing more than to continue to serve honorably.
This is such an extreme and unusual policy. I mean, our constitutional system does not tolerate this kind of overt expression of hostility and discrimination against a particular group. So I am really hopeful that we will prevail in the U.S. Supreme Court. We absolutely should, and there's a lot of different ways to do that.